of a McDonald's employee in East Point erupted into chaos today when one of the victim's relatives allegedly tried to bring a knife into the courtroom.
It all started when a security video was played in court the day that Jennifer Harris was attacked. CBS News Detroit's Alicia Bergio was there as emotions boiled over.
That's how court started. An intense day in court overall as Afeni Muhammad sat before a judge. She's accused of brutally stabbing and killing her manager Jennifer Harris at a McDonald's in East Point back in July. Today, 6 witnesses took the stand. Video of the incident was shown. And as you mentioned, emotions from the victim's family ran high.
Did you want to kill her?
Chilling video of suspect Afeni Muhammad in custody admitting the desire of wanting to murder her manager Jennifer Harris the morning of July 10th. On Friday, 6 witnesses took the stand, 2 claiming an interaction took place between Muhammad and Harris that morning when the defendant was sent home from work for allegedly not doing her job.
She seemed very irritated, and she started off by saying, "So you clocked me out without telling me." And she kind of repeated it. She repeated it twice, and after she repeated it, Jennifer said something, and after that, that's when she said, "You know, you reap what you sow. I'll be back. You better watch your back."
In this video, you see Muhammad return back to McDonald's, walk past a delivery truck, her face covered by some sort of mask, a knife under her arm. She walks through the back entrance, approaches Harris, and stabs her 23 times. A customer in the drive-thru saw it happen and pulled out his gun to intervene.
Saying something like, stop, 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 hold on, stop. I produced my firearm off my hip, pointed it at her. I did take a shot at her. She froze up a little bit, which stopped the attack. And then I guess she maybe something clicked, told her to run or something like that.
Body camera video shows Muhammad on the ground in the parking lot, her clothing covered in blood. One witness describes her last moments with Harris after the stabbing.
When I got up there, the only thing I could see and notice was Jen laying on the floor in a big pool of blood asking for help. Her last words to me was, "Deb, please don't let me die."
As far as what's next, the case has been bound over to circuit court. Muhammad due back in court December 2nd. As far as the daughter that was arrested this morning, police say she's still in custody but will be released. In East Point, Alicia Bergio, CBS News.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Kol Holayim La, Abanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakat, Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Akim out there on the highways and the byways. Salutations to the hopeful elect. Salutations to you speckled birds, you Israelite foreigners. And shalom to the Akwaf, sitting and listening in silence as the scriptures say to do so. Romans chapter 8, verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. And we know when here in Babylon the Great, everybody is carnal minded, nobody's spiritual. The only ones that's doing to the best of their ability to be spiritual are the men of the hopeful elect, which we hope and pray to be the elect. Okay, because we have to walk in wisdom towards them that are without. Roughly paraphrasing the book of Colossians chapter 4, I believe. Okay, now we go through hell every day. We go through all types of trials and tribulations and afflictions and all types of, dealing with a-holes and people that just that are pure demons. Okay, but we have to recognize what we recognize and we know because we have been enlightened, but our people haven't. But also, too, the Lord is commanding these things to be done the way that we see. Okay? And as y'all know, I've done a video on this before. This is the chick that stabbed the lady at her job at the McDonald's. And when you go to jail, man, all that beauty products and everything that you had before, you really don't have the privilege to have that necessity. When you're locked up. If you would come to a video, you would think this is a damn dude. But that's neither here nor there. But again, Romans 8 verse 6, for to be carnally minded is death. So to be carnally minded is death. Because you're going to be doing things that's of the world, and this world leads you to your demise and your destruction. Okay, and furthermore, you're not going to be walking in wisdom, because the wisdom of this world is foolishness to the Most High, and it's not true wisdom. Okay, it's just perverseness, corruption, and again, it's just basically slowly leading you to be put to death by and from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. To be spiritually minded is life and peace, because why? You have been awoken, you have been enlightened. And as Yahweh Shai stated, the truth, when you know the real truth, it shall set you free. Okay, and you'll know the end game. You'll know how to conduct yourself. You'll know why we go through what we go through, and amongst other things. And furthermore, you'll understand also too, which is the main, Salakia, one of the main points in this lesson is that the Lord handles everything. Okay, justice, vengeance, revenge belongs to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. We do what he told us to do. And what did the Lord say? Strive for the truth until death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, man. Okay, so we know that the Lord is going to handle our endeavors, is going to handle our trials, our tribulations. He's going to handle the people that do wrong to us. Okay, so we're not going to seek justice by the works of our own hands. Okay, and also too, let's go up here to Numbers. There's no need for a trial when you have multiple witnesses. As you heard in this video, it was multiple witnesses. Okay, and right here, as you see, I'm gonna rewind it. She's showing the cop, and she said, "Yes, I did it." He said, "Yes, I did," and she's showing the detective how she stabbed the woman. So, in actual reality, there's not no need for a trial at all, man. She's literally confessed that she wanted to unalive her boss. So this is Numbers chapter 35, verses 20 to 21. But if he thrust him of hatred, because again, when I did the prior video, you know, you could see the clips that I put together of the hatred that she had towards her boss. And again, you know, that also goes into the curses and everything else. And again, how our people treat one another. Okay. But again, that doesn't give you any right to take vengeance into your own hands. Okay. But our people are not going to know that, because the Lord is not dealing with them. And also too, it's a part of prophecy that, you know, it's going to be neighbor against neighbor, daughter against daughter, you know, basically a relative against relative, man. Okay, which we're all family in the long run. All right. Numbers 35, verse 20. But if he thrust him of hatred, or hurl at him by lying of weight, that he die. Okay, because, you know, she did, as you heard, the witnesses state, she did warn the manager. She said, "Oh, I'll be back. You reap what you sow." So, and obviously, you know, the N-Dub, you know, figured that she, you know, because the other one was pretty big, and she figured that she was small, but the Lord gave her the strength to do what she did, man. Okay, she wasn't able to overcome that judgment that was brought forth and by and from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Verse 21. Or in enmity smite him with his hand that he die. He that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him. So according to the laws and guidelines of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, somebody from her family is supposed to shed this woman's blood, man, because it was done, it was premeditated, and it was done intentionally. Okay, and also because, again, she boldly warned her manager, like, "I'm going to take you out." Okay, and also too, when she got caught, as you saw and as you're going to see right now again, she told the police that, "Yes, I did it. I want to execute her." Okay, and if you go further down in this same chapter, it tells you by the mouth of one or two more witnesses. Okay, you know, this person shall be put to death. You know, moreover, you shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall surely be put to death. Verse 31. Okay, and she made that clear. Okay, because again, we're supposed to understand that we're not supposed to render evil for evil. Okay, we're supposed to let the Lord handle every situation that's brought upon us, man. Okay, Matter of fact, let's grab this in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. And this ain't going to be a long one. I got a couple more precepts and we're going to close it out. Okay? 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 15. See that none render evil for evil unto any man. So, yeah, maybe, because I don't know. I didn't know the woman. I wasn't around her. I didn't know nothing about it. But basically from what she said, she probably was telling the truth. Because a lot of N-Dub and Israelite women in general, they run their mouth, they reckless, they have no fear and no consideration, no respect towards anybody, okay, women or men, okay? So just because she was being evil towards you doesn't give you the right to render a judgment of death, a judgment of execution, because you was in your feelings, man. And this is another prime example of showing you that women are very emotional, man. Okay. Also, these YNs, these niggas, because most of these YNs and these niggas are raised by women, so they take on the traits and the characteristics of women. Okay. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 15. See that none render evil for evil unto any man, but ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men. So, the right thing to do would be to pray, and would be to let the Lord, justify you in your actions, man. It says that in the book of Peter, maybe the first chapter, the first Peter, 2 Peter, Salakia. I can't really pinpoint it right now, but it says, when you're falsely accused and you're being done wrongfully, take it. It shows a lot of character. And again, the Lord will, defend you, man, in the long run. Okay? So we're not supposed to render for evil for evil. Okay? Do you not, man? A lot of people do us wrong, man. A lot of people have done us wrong in life, man. Me, myself, personally, I've gone through a lot of shit with a lot of people that done me wrong, man. But I've always, even before I came into the truth, I always had in my mind that the Lord will, avenge me of that wrong. Just to move on. And again, that's walking with wisdom, man. Letting the Lord handle it, man. Okay? Not being carnal minded. Not trying to put my life and the little delusion of freedom that I have at risk. Because I want to be in my feelings, man. Nah. You gotta walk as a man, you gotta be logical. Okay? Matter of fact, let's grab a precept on that real quick. Okay, what is it? I'm gonna grab this in the Good News Translation. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 1. I'm going to read verses 22 to 24. There is no excuse for unjustified anger. It can bring you about, it can bring about your downfall. I'm going to read that again. Sirach 1 verse 22 in the GNT. There is no excuse for unjustified anger. It can bring about your downfall. And that's what you see, the downfall of this woman. Okay, because more than likely, she's probably going to go to jail for 20-something odd years, or 20 plus. Okay, because again, she admitted to the murder, and again, it shows the emotional state, man. It's like that song coming to mind. What is it? Carl Thomas, Emotional, where he says, "I'm emotional and I can't let go. I am trying to hold." It's like that Carl Thomas song coming to mind. You're emotional, man. But continuing on, Sirach 1 verse 22. There is no excuse for unjustified anger. It can bring about your downfall. Wait and be patient, and later you will be glad you did. And that's what she should have did. She should have waited and be patient. And again, there's people that's higher than your boss, HR and other people you can go. And also, she be documenting stuff, having the day, the time, the date and all that, jotting down what happened. Okay, so you can have that evidence to go to human resources, because human resources is really made for women. Okay, and be able to, have that information, and, have that manager, get questioned by her regional or district manager, man. You can't think correctly when your adrenaline is high and you're emotional and you have anger, and that's something that And I'm glad I waited to do this video. I was going to do this video 2 days ago, but the Lord had me wait until after camp yesterday because the beloved Elder Monaghan made a good point about anger. And I'm glad I did wait because, you know, that brought out other precepts that I needed. Okay? Sirach 1 verse 23 in the GNT. Wait and be patient, and later you will be glad you did. Keep quiet until the right time to speak, and you will gain a reputation for good sense, wisdom, and reverence for the Most High. And you know, our people don't have that. Our people don't have patience that is given to us by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Okay, because they're not of the spirit of the world, and this world is carnal. Okay, and it leads you to do things that put you in situations that you regret in the long run. Okay, so again, instead of her literally documenting every time she had an issue or an encounter with this manager and going to HR and the higher ups and reporting it, you know, she felt it was right in her mind, her emotional, unstable mind, to go to put her to death. Okay, well, let's close out. Close out in Sirach. I'm gonna go to Sirach 28. Okay, what is that? Sirach 28. Sirach 28. And I'm gonna start off at verse 1. He that revengeth shall find vengeance from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and he will surely keep his sins in remembrance, man. And that's, you know, that's scary, man. If you really think about that, man, you want to avenge yourself and seek vengeance because you felt like you got done wrong. Because it's all about, you know, you being disrespected and your feelings being hurt at the end of the day, man. Okay. You know, the Lord is not going to have no pity, no mercy upon you, man. You know, so this is only the beginning of her judgment from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Imagine what the Lord has in store for people that do things like this, and people that, you know, seek vengeance and revenge with their own hands instead of letting the Lord take care of it. Verse 2. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he have done unto thee. And that's the main thing right there. You know, it may be hard for you to forgive somebody that's done wrong to you, but what did Yahushua say? Matter of fact, let me read that real quick. This is what Yahushua said, man. Because I know me, myself personally, I want my sins to be forgiven. I want my transgressions, my errors to be, you know, to receive a mercy, and the Lord to have a consideration and compassion for me. This is St. Matthew chapter 6, verses 14 to 15. For if ye forgive men their trespass, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if ye forgive not men their trespass, neither will your Father forgive your trespass, man. So even though you may truly be getting done wrong by this person may be an a-hole and just complete demon, a monster, forgive that person, man. And you know, that's in the truth and in the world, man. You know, it's people in the world that have done me wrong that I forgave, man, because I don't want to be a hypocrite, first and foremost. And secondly, how do I expect the Lord, as I just read St. Matthew 6, verse 14 to 15, how do I expect the Lord, even though these people have done some fucked up shit to me, I mean, some shit that's worthy of death, okay? It's for your benefit, man. And you got to be truly sincere and truly mean that. Because, you know, again, this is not a joke. What's about to be brought forth is not a game, man. Okay? So I've forgiven the people that have literally done me wrong, man. Truly and sincerely and mainly for my benefit, because if I want the Lord to forgive me, how can I not forgive the people that have done me wrong? And those are all lessons that I had to go through to learn to become the man that I am today, man. I don't regret what the Lord has put me through, man. That's the main thing that you have to realize. The Lord put you through all these things. Man's goings are of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. Okay? Sirach 28 verse 2. Forgive thy neighbor the hurt that he have done unto thee, so shall thy sins also be forgiven when thou prayest, man. Okay? And that's a real we really have to take that into consideration, man. Because again, if she would have just said, you know what, this lady, you know, she probably going, because everybody's going through stuff. I know she's probably going through stuff just like I'm going through stuff. I don't know what she's going through. And, you know, just in her mind, again, if you sit down, be patient, not have anger in your mind, and you just have a logical, you know, thought process. After you had that process, you know, she could have went to her manager, pulled her to the side, like, look, I know you probably got stuff going on, this and that, yada, yada, yada. What can we do to get along? Because I don't want to be an enemy. I want us to, you know, come together and be a team, because we're supposed to be a team at work. It's a lot of stuff you could do to resolve situations, man. But again, emotions are high. You feel disrespected, disregarded. So what do? Them demons hop on you, and the Lord did the Lord made happen what was supposed to happen. Salakia. Okay? So I don't want to write this out, man. I hope and I pray that this is edifying, uplifting, and informative to the true sincere Aki and Akwaf. So with that, I'm just going to say, Shalom.